Over the years, Vampire Hunter D has become pretty well known throughout the anime community, especially due to the success of its two feature films, Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. This also led to its original novels getting English translations here in the States, of which I now have many. A lot of people tend to forget that it once also had a video game on the PlayStation 1. During the time of its release, the game received mostly average to negative review scores and faded into obscurity outside of a select group of hardcore fans. What kind of game was it? And more importantly, how well would it hold up today?
12,090 AD. 10,000 years have passed since the final war brought the history of the human race to its end.
Released by Jellicoe in December of 1999 in Japan and September of 2000 in the United States, Vampire Hunter D, the game, is loosely based off the second movie, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which was in itself based off the third novel, Demon Death Chase. The gameplay and design is often compared to the early Resident Evil games, and for good reason. D moves using the tank control method, with a camera that automatically flips between pre-rendered backgrounds. You also collect key cards and explore a giant castle, in a similar manner to the mansion in the first Resident Evil. There are, of course, plenty of differences as well. For one thing, you use a sword instead of a gun as your main weapon, with one small exception that would be spoilery to go into. You also have a talking left hand, because Japan,
the smell of a young woman's blood,
that can do special attacks and heal using a meter that you fill up by having the hand suck up weakened enemies. You also have the ability to block attacks, and even strafe during lock-on combat. Combined, these tweaks make this a very different game to play. The story, being derived from the movie and book, still follows all the most important plot points. D, a part human, part vampire hybrid, is hired by a man named Elborn to rescue his daughter Charlotte after being allegedly kidnapped by a vampire named Meyer Link. D is also told that another group of hunters called the Marcus Brothers are on the case, and that he should be wary of them. Without going into spoiler details for those who may not have seen the movie or read the book, know that most of the major plot twists are still included here, but there's a large difference in the way it's all presented. The original story featured multiple locations to carry the plot along, while almost the entirety of the game's story takes place in the one large castle. So what caused it to get such disappointing review scores with critics? Well, there's actually quite a few things to talk about. How much you will like or dislike this game is going to depend solely on your tolerance for the tank control scheme. Fans of the series and old-school Resident Evil fans will likely find plenty of things to enjoy here, but just about everyone else is going to have a real exercise in patience. Did I mention they added platforming segments? With a camera like this? Enemy placement was also frustrating, as you would often see them while running around a corner with no time to actually react to it. Despite the various controls for combat, some can argue it makes the game more frustrating as a result. I found myself getting knocked backward quite often while trying to perform a jump attack. D would also sometimes lock on to enemies without me realizing, only to have me think I'm running away before diving headfirst into them. Many of the boss fights didn't feel very creative to me either, outside of one fight in particular near the end of the game. The majority of these battles revolved around a character constantly running away from you, while performing ranged attacks. Top this off with the poor camera angles, and you've got another exercise in frustration. So is the game all bad? Well, no. In fact, I ended up liking quite a few things about it. Controls aside, the castle and other areas of the game were still really fun to explore. I found myself intrigued enough to trudge past all the problems in order to just see what would happen next in each new room. I was also relieved by how forgiving the game is with save points. You can literally save anywhere at any time outside of battles, and this made the frustrating segments far more manageable. I found it pleasantly surprising that this game has 3 different endings, 2 of which are quite different from anything that came out of the book or movie. They're a little hard to figure out without a guide handy, but I found it worth revisiting the game a few times to unlock them. While the character models are a bit pixely, even for their time, the art design itself is excellent, and you could tell that a lot of work was put into the detail of those pre-rendered backgrounds. I also found the voice acting and sound effects to be more good than bad.
Irresistible. Why not quench your thirst a little bit, huh?
Personally, I'd love to see a team like the one behind the awesome Resident Evil 2 remake, or maybe even From Software tackle a project like this one in the future. Yes, I know that's extremely unlikely, but I can dream, right? Overall, I'd say that if you can handle the control scheme, this game is not nearly as bad as it was made out to be. Flawed for sure, yes, but well worth a try for anyone interested in the genre or the property itself. Hopefully, this re-examination will inspire more people to give it a look. So what did you think of this game? Have you played it before? Had an interest in it? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more games, music, movies, and fun! We'll see you all next time, and happy reading. The translation's so bad.